What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gray Rabbit Finance. I'm your host, Tyler, and today I'm going to be updating the Ichimoku technical analysis for all the major indices and crypto markets for the month of January 2024. Let's hop in. Okay, guys, well, welcome back and Happy New Year to you. We're going to get started today with the S&P 500 like we normally do. For anyone who's new here, thanks for joining us and welcome to the channel. And so here's the chart, nice and clean on the monthly chart. I'm just going to turn my drawings back on. And so guys, last month we called out a double top here. So we're running into the resistance here at the 4,818 level. And we're starting to get a retracement here. So overall, from an Ichimoku standpoint, price has closed above the Tenkan and the Kijun Sen. However, the Tenkan, the Kijun, and the Senko Span A and B are all flat, which shows that the market is going to be retracing now. Until we get a close above this resistance level, which we just mentioned. And so, guys, I'm expecting a retracement down, but I'm still expecting this N wave to finish up higher coming into this year. And so I'm expecting, like we mentioned last time, this is going to be wave 5 of an Elliott count, Elliott wave theory count, and we're expecting this wave 5 to finish higher this year. So for a conservative target for this year, I'm expecting price to reach the 1 Fibonacci extension level, which is 5,219. And so right now with the time cycle, this Fibonacci time cycle, we have that reaching around June 2024. So, obviously we're going to need more information once we get this retracement here. So we're going to need this retracement to hold one of the, here, let me move this real quick. So we're going to need the retracement to hold into the pink structure here, into one of these levels. So, the farthest retracement we're going to want to see is to the 0.618 to maintain the overall bullishness of this N wave structure. Now, guys, let's go to the weekly chart for some more detail. And so if you look on the weekly chart, let's just clear it up real quick. So guys, on the weekly chart, we had the price break out of the Kumo cloud, right? We had 3 out of the 3 Senyoko Kyoten signals, which are the bullish Ichimoku trend signals. So we had price break the Kumo, Chico span, we had the gold cross, Chico span above the candles, and we had price break the Kumo cloud here. So these 3 signals are showing us now that we're in a bullish market here on the weekly chart. We have the Tenkan Sen pointing up, which is the blue line. The green line is flat, that's the Kijun Sen. So this is why we're starting to get a retracement. Now guys, the first support level is going to be here at this level. So this is the 4,607 level. So this is the first area where we're going to expect some support. But then if you look at these Fibonacci levels, these are all the other support levels that we're going to find. And so, usually a healthy retracement is going to be down to this 0.5 level, which is around the 4,448 level. And so I'm going to be expecting over the next weeks a nice retracement down to these levels. So keep an eye on that. And what else did I want to? So also, guys, this Kumo cloud structure is starting to get thicker. It's starting to get stronger. And so this is a good sign that we have a healthy trend on the weekly market. Now, if we get a close above the 4,818 resistance level, that's going to validate this idea. And that's going to send the next wave higher, in my opinion. However, if we get a close below this 4,103 level, that's going to invalidate this idea. So just keep an eye on those levels. And then also, on another note, we have an RSI, a stochastic RSI gold cross. So this is also bullish, in my opinion. And now, guys, I just want to move on to some fundamental news. So I'm going to pull that up now. Okay guys, just wanted to show you 3 tweets that I found about the soft landing that we're supposed to be expecting. For anyone who is on Twitter, feel free to follow me here at Gray Rabbit FIN, Gray Rabbit Fin on Twitter. That's my handle. You can find me. I have a really bright orange picture here. And yeah, guys, so let's check out these tweets. I think you're going to find them interesting like I did. So the first tweet I found here was from Markets and Mayhem. Shout out to them. Do you think there will be a soft landing? It is the consensus view now. And now this is just a chart showing how many articles Bloomberg has mentioning the word soft landing. And so I thought this was pretty interesting because you can see that in a lead up to the recessions, that these charts peaked just before the recession set in. And so as you can see, guys, this was around like 2000. This one was before the 2008 crash here. And this darker blue area is highlighting where the recessions were. So, and you can see here in COVID, before the COVID crash. So as you can see, guys, this is spiked pretty high. So, you know, this is just an interesting offbeat kind of chart to look at, and I thought it was cool. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Are we going to get a soft landing? Well, let's look at a few other tweets that I found. This was the next tweet that I found. This is from Ottavio, aka Tavi Costa. Really big fan of his work, so check him out. But he says, very important data was reported today on the ISM services. The employment index plunged to levels only seen during recessionary periods. Despite the better than expected job numbers today, there has never been a time that the unemployment rate crossed its 2-year moving average and a recession didn't follow. Keep in mind that the more labor markets deteriorate, the more favorable it is for hard assets. So guys, just take a look. It's about to cross this line. Here was the tech bubble bust, the GFC bust, the COVID recession, and now we're reaching down to these levels again. So just more evidence for that really nice soft landing that we're supposed to be getting, right? Okay, now, guys, this is the last tweet that I found. It was from me. I found this chart on the FDIC website. So what it says is soft landing, ? 4 bank failures already equate to nearly the entire amount of assets financial institutions held during the banking crisis issue of 2008 and 2009. So let's look at this chart a little bit bigger. Back in 2008, this is the amount of assets held by banks that failed, and this is represented in the millions. So this is 589,000 in the millions. And then also 157 banks had failed by 2010. Now, in 2003, we had 4 banks fail, but these banks were holding assets equivalent to 548,639 millions. So we've already surpassed the amount of liabilities that failed during the 2008 crash/recession. And so this is just another signal to me that most likely we're not going to be getting a soft landing like they're mentioning. So guys, you know, with all these charts, you know, we're just here gathering evidence. And right now, in my opinion, the evidence is to a hard landing. However, I do think that we're going to have one more wave up on all the major stock markets, like the S&P 500, which I just showed you. And after that point, it's going to be when the pain is felt, when the rug is pulled, so to speak. You know, they need to have exit liquidity. And so I think a double top would be the most natural thing to happen on the chart. However, the need for exit liquidity and for more money to flood back in before the crash happens, I think is going to push the markets higher this year, especially heading into an election year in the US. So right now, that's my thesis. And, you know, I showed you guys, you know, this is my target at the 1 Fibonacci extension level. That's the 5,219 level. And I really do think we're going to see the market run up to those levels this year. Okay, guys, NASDAQ on the monthly chart. Looks like we've also run into resistance quite similar to the S&P 500. Let me turn my drawings on here. And so price closed above the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. However, on the Kumo, if you look at it, Senko span A and B are both flat. We have the Tenkan-sen pointing up still. So I'm expecting the flatness of these lines to be attracting price back on a retracement over the next few weeks and over this month. And so if we look at that, guys, you know, we overall this is pretty bullish. We have a gold cross. The structure of the Kumo cloud is pretty thick. And so we're going to need to wait for a close above this resistance level, which is the 16,764 level. And that's going to confirm this N wave up, which I have drawn here in pink. Just move that. Yeah. So guys, let's take a look at the weekly for some more detail. So here you can see, guys, on the weekly chart, we had 3 out of the 3 Senyoku Kyoten signals, the bullish Ichimoku trend signals. So we had a gold cross, Chico span above the candles, and we had price break out of Senko span B, which is this thick white line, and break out of the Kumo cloud. We've had a nice N wave up already, and so for me, this is very bullish. And let me just turn this off so you can see. So the Tenkan Sen's pointing up, Senko span A and B are both pointing up, and Kijun Sen is flat. So we should be having a slight retracement here, but these are all very bullish indicators on the weekly chart here. And so, when we take that into consideration, guys, I think we have a lot of steam pushing these prices up, and quite similar to the S&P 500, I'm expecting higher prices this year, and I'm expecting this market to reach up to the 1 Fibonacci extension level, which is at 19,549. And right now, based on the time cycles, this is showing me around July 2024. So sometime around July, we're going to need to see this retracement, and we're going to need this retracement to hold within these pink areas to confirm the strength of this N wave. And so, guys, that's what I've got so far for this market. And then one other thing was that we have a gold cross here on the stochastic RSI. So that's one thing to consider, that it's still a little bit bullish momentum going into here. However, we did hit this resistance. So, we're going to be retracing over the next weeks, but I'm expecting this N wave to continue further up. And this is my target for 2024, 19,549. Okay, guys, here we are, Nifty 500 on the monthly. Let me just show you the chart naked here. And here we go, guys. Look. Overall, very bullish. Price is closed above the Tenkan and the Kijun Sen. Tenkan, Kijun, Senko span A and B are all pointing up. So this is overall very bullish. Price broke out of this range here, this consolidation, and we've had a nice N wave up. So, guys, overall, very bullish here. Now, the next resistance level here is at 19,637. And so we're going to need price to close above that. I am expecting price to get resisted most likely soon around this 1 Fibonacci extension level, which is a smaller range here. And that's at the $20,000 and $20,042 level. So we could expect a pullback then, because this market, we have a trend line overshoot here. So price is very overextended right now. So we could be expecting a little bit of a pullback. But going into the next year, based on these Fibonacci time cycles, I'm expecting price to reach up to this level, which is the 20,599 level. And right now that's showing around December 2024. But based on the next retracement, that could change. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. But if we look at the weekly chart, guys, you can see also that we have a nice bullish trend on the weekly. So we had a breakout of the Kumo here. And then we had, obviously we had 3 out of the 3 Senyoku Kyoten signals. So we had the gold cross, the Chico span above the candles, and the breakout of the cloud, right? The Kumo is looking strong. It's still a little bit skinny. So I am expecting a retracement. However, this is a good, strong, stable Kumo cloud. And we have Senko span A and B both pointing up. So in the medium to short term, this is still bullish until these lines flatten out. And I'm expecting, like I said, at least a run up to the 20,042 level before we meet resistance and have a retracement. And this trend line could act as a support for that next retracement. But expect this price to at least reach these levels this year, 20,599. Bitcoin US dollar on the monthly. So guys, last time we called out the N wave up to these levels, and we hit our carrot target. So I'm going to turn that on real quick. So we've reached that level, and we have also crossed over this 1-to-1 45-degree angle on the Gann fan, and so that is showing an overall shift in the bullishness of the market. However, guys, the next level to hit would be up here on this next angle here, the 2-to-1, and so I'm expecting from these levels, let me just clean that up. We're starting to meet resistance here, right? You can see that the candle is a little bit smaller than the previous. And so that shows us that the momentum is slowing. as we run into this resistance level. And that means, guys, that we're bound for a retracement soon. And so I'm expecting, if I zoom in, I'm expecting price to retrace back down to Senko Span B here, which is this really thick white line. That's around the 35,968 level. And since price is contained within these two Ganfan lines, I expect another N wave up, and then possibly a double top here with a further correction back down to the 24,756 level. So guys, just base right now, when the Kumo clouds are twisting like this is just a ranging market where the bulls and the bears are no one's really in control yet on this monthly chart. We have a death cross here on the Ichimoku. We have the Chico span below the candles. So that's 2 out of the 3 bearish Senyoko Kyoten signals. However, we have price that just broke through the cloud, through the Senko Span B. So that is bullish. So we have 1 bullish signal. But guys, we're still waiting for the bullish Kumo cloud to form here. And so overall, this is just kind of a ranging choppy market when price is in this area. And so that's why I'm expecting a retracement back down to this support level. And then, sort of a consolidation at these levels here. So one thing to note too is that we had a double top here. And so after that usually is a corrective wave, which happens in ABC corrective wave. So that would be A, B, C, like that. So that's also, that's helping me build this thesis just based on the ABC corrective wave theory. But yeah, guys, we hit the last carrot here. The next level to look for is 35,968. Then after that, we're going to need to see if we break this resistance at 45,922. And if we do, the next resistance level will be 48,234. And so, as these angles on the Ganfan break, then the momentum starts shifting in the opposite direction. But until then, guys, I just see a lot of heavy overhead resistance here for Bitcoin. And so I would be looking for a retracement to be occurring over the next month or so. So just keep an eye on that. But yeah, guys, that's what I've got today for Bitcoin. Now, guys, I've added this pair to the list this month. This is called BSV USD. And now there's a lot of controversy surrounding this. I'm not going to get into too much detail right now. But if you're familiar with the crypto world, you might have heard of a guy named Craig Wright. And so he is allegedly the inventor of Bitcoin. And now there's a lot of debate about this topic. And I'm not gonna give my opinion or say one way or the other. But I want to look at this chart just from an objective standpoint. And so, guys, right now it looks like we're having the very beginnings of a small cup and handle forming here on the monthly chart. Now, overall, from Ichimoku standpoint, this is very bearish. We have a really fat Ichimoku bearish cloud here. We've had quite a substantial rundown in price here, but it looks like if you see price is starting to diverge here in a bullish direction, right? So price has reached back up to the Kijun-sen here. And also if we look at the RSI, that's way down here, but we've got a gold cross. And so this is showing me that this quite possibly could be the bottom for this market. And I think that this could be a really good opportunity to trade this year. And so I'm going to be showing you more detail now on the weekly chart. And so, guys, if we look at the weekly chart, you can see what I'm talking about. So it looks like we've had a long consolidation here. And now if you look at this pink trend line, we're starting to diverge bullishly. And we've gotten 3 out of the 3 bullish Senyoko Kyoten signals. So we have a gold cross, which is here. Let me zoom in on that. So we have the gold cross, which happened here. We have the Chico span above the candles, and we have price breaking through the Senko span B through the Ichimoku cloud. Now, guys, I'm currently looking to build a position on this, and so I'm waiting for this retracement to finish, and I'm going to be looking for an entry off of this retracement here. Now, let me turn these back on. So our first resistance level here is at $112, The next resistance level is going to be at 193. And the next resistance level, major resistance level, is going to be up here at $480. So, this basically what I'm saying is that we have a new trend starting. This is the very first sign of a new trend forming on the weekly, guys. So this could possibly be, a really high risk, high reward trade for 2024. And I'm going to talk about basically what's going on right now. There's an article that I'm going to link below. It's called "The Key in Copa versus Craig Wright." And so the trial against Craig Wright is going to resume on February 5th, 2024. Now, from my understanding, if Craig Wright wins this trial, he will reclaim the Bitcoin name and the ticker symbol. And so that's why this is a highly disputed case. And there's a lot of information behind this. I think I'm going to need to make a video separately on that. But for today, I'm gonna post a link to an article that kind of explains what's going on in the case and just kind of explains both sides of it and does it in pretty good detail. So yeah, guys. But anyways, just from an objective standpoint, I just explained all the Ichimoku signals here. Keep an eye on this pair because I think there is a lot of opportunity this year if this is the beginning of a new trend like I think it is. So once I build a position on that, I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a more detailed way to build that position. I'm going to show you what my price targets are and go into more detail. But this was just something I noticed that price broke the cloud, and so this is looking like a hot pair to watch this year. So yeah, guys, keep an eye on that. BSV USD. US oil on the monthly chart. Okay, guys. Well, price was resisted here at the Kijun-sen. Let me zoom in a little bit. And so, overall, this market is kind of ranging. We have a death cross, and we have the Chico span just on top of the candles right now. So we have one out of the three bearish Sanyoku Gyukoten signals. And, basically, guys, what I'm thinking is that usually the Chico span traces these candles. And so we've had a nice retracement here. If I draw, hold on, let me draw this one real quick. If I draw a Fibonacci retracement, you can see that we have retraced now back to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Now that's a pretty good retracement, and that's why we're starting to find support here. So we have a double bottom, and we have a higher low here. So in my opinion, once we break this resistance level here at $94, this is going to confirm this N wave back up. And so I think oil is going to be a really good trade this year if this support can hold, and which I think it will, because we have this trend line here. We have the Ichimoku cloud nice and thick here. This is a good structure. And so I think this retracement is over and that you're going to start seeing price creeping back up. Now, if we get a close below this Senko Span B level, which is the $64 level, that's going to invalidate this idea. But so far, guys, we've held the support pretty strong. We haven't closed below there. So I believe this idea is still intact, and I think that this year is going to be good to be long oil. Now, if we go to the weekly chart, let me just show you what it looks like clean. So right now, guys, this is a ranging market. Price was resisted at the Senko Span B here in the cloud. We have a triple bottom here. So 1, 2, 3, which looks like we're getting support. But if we break this, if price breaks below this, like I said, the $64 level, we're going to invalidate this idea. But so far, the support's holding strong. We have a Kumo cloud twist forming again. So guys, this is just ranging. We had a gold cross, death cross, gold cross, death cross, right? That's our ranging market for Ichimoku. But yeah, we have right now, since price is in the Kumo, we only have one out of the three bearish Sanyoku Gyukoten signals. We have the death cross, but the Chico span is still above the candles, and price is still in the cloud. And so, guys, until we can break out of these levels that I called out, the $94 and the 64 level, we're just going to be ranging. But I do believe that price is starting to find support along this trend line, and we're going to see that moving into this year. Okay guys, so I want to just share a quick article with you. So recently I was traveling over the holidays for a friend's wedding, and I was in Ecuador, but on the way my wife and I would stop in Panama, and we visited the Panama Canal for the first time, and we learned that this year the Panama Canal has faced a lot of challenges with shipping delays. And so I'm going to read this article to explain what's going on with that. So guys, the Panama Canal is enmeshed in a crisis that's disrupting global trade, but it will take years and billions of dollars to fix. This is from Fortune.com. The vestiges of an ancient farce tell the story of just how bad things are at the drought-stricken Panama Canal. A few hundred feet from the massive tankers hauling goods across the globe, gaunt tree stumps rise above the waterline. They're all that remains of a woodland flooded more than a century ago to create the canal. It's not unusual to see them at the height of the dry season, but now, in the immediate aftermath of what's usually the rainy period, the El Niño, they should be fully submerged. They're a visible reminder of how parched conditions have crippled a waterway that handles $270 billion a year in global trade, and there are no easy solutions. The Panama Canal Authority is weighing potential fixes that include an artificial lake to pump water into the canal and flood seeding to boost rainfall, but both options would take years to implement, if they're even feasible. With water levels languishing at 6 feet, 1.8 meters, below normal, the Canal Authority capped the number of vessels that can cross. The limits imposed late last year were the strictest since 1989, when the conduit was shut as the U.S. invaded Panama to extract its de facto ruler, Manuel Noriega. Yeah guys, so I'm going to stop there, but basically what I'm trying to say is that, these, from what I read also, the El Nino rainfall is down 30 to 50%. So this could affect the shipping through here by 30 to 50% because of the water levels being so low. And now with that happening, and also what's going on in the Middle East with the geopolitical tensions at the Suez Canal, this is going to heavily disrupt the trade of oil and other goods and increase shipping costs. Now, I'm usually more in favor of technical analysis, and so what we're seeing in the charts is showing that we've had a retracement in oil markets and that we can expect prices to go higher this year. But when I gather more evidence fundamentally, I see that, with all the shipping being affected the way it is at the Panama and Suez Canal, I think this will also contribute to this theory that oil prices will be going higher. And especially too, since the U.S. has also drained most of its strategic petroleum reserve. So guys, these are just some anecdotes. I'm going to put a little video in also that I took from the car of all the low water levels around Panama, just to show you guys. But yeah, I never really knew much about the Panama Canal. But guys, these canals are essential to global trade, so they can definitely affect all the markets, and especially the oil market. And so that's why I wanted to bring that up today. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and let's move on to the next. Gold US dollar on the monthly chart. So guys, let me turn on my drawings. So what I've got, so we have had the infamous quadruple top here. Triple tops and quadruple tops, they usually break out in that direction. So this is quite odd. These, like I always mention, this market is pretty manipulated with the paper markets. But regardless of that, there's a lot of buyers here still. And I'm under the impression that this N wave is going to break free soon. We'll probably get a little bit of a retracement, but right now we have an inside bar. And so normally an inside bar is a sign of a reversal. So we could be getting a retracement back down to the Tenkan or the Kijun-sen. But eventually, guys, this year, this resistance level here at 2081 is going to break. Price is going to close above that. And that's going to be a signal for the next bull market in precious metals to begin. So we're right here on the cusp of a breakout. We've got 3 out of the 3 hold on. So we had price close above the Tenkan-sen here, but we have the Tenkan-sen, the Kijun-sen flat, and Senko span A and B are flat. So that's why we're going to have a retracement in the short to medium term. But this, like I said, guys, quadruple tops, that's not going to work. This is going to break out eventually. And if we look at the weekly chart, you can see that we have 3 out of the 3 bullish Senyoku Kyoten signals. So we had a gold cross, Chico span above the candles, and we had price break out of the Kumo cloud, right? But we have right now the Kumo cloud's flat and kind of still too small to confirm the trend, and so that's why we're going to need the breakout of this resistance level and an end wave up. But my next target is going to be at the 1 Fibonacci extension level, and that's $2,275. So that's going to be the next major target for gold. And let's see, so we're going to need to close above the $2,081 level to confirm that. However, if we get a break below the $1,810 level, which is right here, that's going to invalidate this idea. However, I don't think that's going to happen. And I think we're going to get further momentum up this year. But in the meantime, guys, we're just going to need to keep an eye and wait for this breakout to happen. And I want to show you too that we have a gold cross on the stochastic, but we're about to get a death cross soon. So that could mean, we could get a retracement back down to these levels and just consolidate them more before breaking out. Now, guys, I want to show you a really interesting video that I found from Digital Asset Investor. Found this on Twitter, and I'm just going to play it for you real quick.
All central banks, including the Federal Reserve, designated their gold holdings on their balance sheets under the name of gold revaluation account.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's extremely interesting because it's literally visible and to the public and in plain sight. But a gold revaluation is inevitable. 100%, I believe it's coming, Lynette.
Of course. And not just that, they could shrink the debt by doing that. If your debt is unsustainable and it's out of control, all you have to do, well, it's not all you have to do, but one of the things they will do, the central planners, is reset the gold price to a higher level. That debt all of a sudden gets a lot smaller, gives them room to issue new debt, to expand the global economy, even consolidate whatever they want. But Lynette, this ties us back to something you mentioned on our last call. You said the Bank of International Settlements had basically their money flower, which was a tool or a mechanism for them to get early adoption. So they are, like you said, prepared already for this. They know it's coming.
Of course.
Everything is ready. They just got to pull the lever when they're ready.
Okay, guys. So I'm not going to say much about this because they pretty much said everything that I've been thinking as well. Shout out to Digital Asset Investor with this great take on the gold reevaluation. Okay, guys, last but not least, silver US dollar on the monthly chart. And so we had a Ichimoku gold cross. I'm just going to clean this up real quick for you. So here's the gold cross. We recently had price supported on this trend line here. So this trend line, 1, 2. Let's see what else. We had the Chico span is slightly coming above the candles and tracing it. So we're waiting for that to break above the candles. But right now we have, price is closing below the Tenkan-sen. And we have Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen flat, Senko span A and B both flat. We have a long flat Kumo cloud. So right now this is just a consolidation right here. And so we're going to need the market, after it's done ranging here, we're going to need market to break this $26 level. And then we're going to need it to break the $30 level to confirm the bull market. And so until that happens, guys, this is just consolidating. But I am expecting that to happen this year. And so hopefully soon we'll get a nice breakout. But that's something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. And also wanted to show you that we have bullish divergence here on the stochastic. But it looks like we're going to have a little bearish death cross here soon. So we need to keep an eye on that, but we have bullish divergence. And so I am expecting this range to eventually break bullish. So the next target, in my opinion, would be around this resistance level here, around $30. So around $29 to $30. That's what we're going to be looking for this year. But once this market breaks out, it's going to start moving fast, and it's going to be pretty volatile. So we're going to keep an eye on that, guys. But for 2024, I think if you can start building a position, this could be a good bet for you. But yeah, like with all things, guys, that always depends on you. These are just my ideas. This is not advice for you. I don't know your situation 100%. So yeah, just take that with a grain of salt. But everyone who likes and subscribes, thank you very much. I'm wishing you guys a really happy new year. Good things coming to you and your families. And thanks for being here, guys. Until next month, peace.